think it's really easy in Canada to think that we're doing a good job. You know, we have some amazing national parks, and I think for a lot of people, there's not really an awareness of how much of an impact we've already had on what was here before colonization. Things like old-growth forests and other really unique ecosystems across Canada.
These ecosystems, once they have been destroyed, can't be replaced. And so when you think about the cascading consequences of not protecting these ecosystems, it becomes pretty apparent that the approach that we're taking right now leads to, obviously disastrous outcomes.
Typically, the model for conservation is you have environmental activism, where you get people building movements and campaigns to pressure governments for the correct policies to protect these areas, or you have land trusts that are going to buy private lands. What has been missing for the public lands and unceded First Nations lands is an organization that's going to help to fund communities in ways that are needed, especially in these communities that help to determine whether there can be protected areas or not.
So in Canada, the most important funding gap that we have seen is a lack of funding specifically for land-embedded communities to support them with developing sustainable economic alternatives.
So the Nature-Based Solutions Foundation fills an absolutely vital niche. What's needed is an organization that's going to help fill the key funding gap to more readily establish protected areas. All across Canada, you have some of the most amazing ecosystems, from semi-arid grasslands to old-growth temperate rainforests like here, southern deciduous forests. These are the ecosystems where most people live and where most industry are. The Nature-Based Solutions Foundation was created to fill key funding gaps, working with land-embedded communities, which include First Nations, obviously, first and foremost, but also, say, in the grasslands of the prairies, ranchers, Métis communities, in the southern boreal landscapes, different woodlot owners across the country.
We can't talk about protecting ecosystems without also working with these communities and addressing the needs of these communities, who for generations have been closely linked politically, culturally, and economically to the public lands near and around their homes. And so today they play a decisive role on the land use policies of these areas. So conservation financing is an extremely effective tool for achieving protection for nature and for supporting the economic prosperity of communities. Protecting nature has shown to render huge economic benefits by supporting diverse, resilient, and more sustainable economies. So examples of that include tourism, recreation industries, clean energy. So under the conservation financing model, nature is worth more standing than it is destroyed.
My name is Patrick Michel. I'm a member of the Kanakabar Indian Band. Kanakabar lived with an economy for more than 8,000 years. Again, as part of contact, that economy was also suppressed. We always lived in harmony and a relationship with our land, and the land always gave us enough of a surplus of meats, fruits, vegetables, tools, clothing, that we're able to have an economy. We are an important part of BC's economy, and the IPCA allows us to participate in BC's economy.
We're working with this community to provide them with the key support to develop their Indigenous Protected and Conserved Area, that's IPCA. So the IPCA will include about 350 square kilometers of land, and that land is going to encompass 125 square kilometers of what might be BC's most diverse endangered old-growth forests.
So the IPCA actually brings back and empowers my membership and its leadership to take back land and resource responsibility and to share that with the federal and provincial governments. So we're at the table again. The foundation offers us an incredible resource in people well knowledgeable about biodiversity and things that work and some things that don't. We're basically managing our watersheds from the hip. But by working collaboratively, we can ensure that mistakes are minimized and future benefits are maximized. So by working together, we'll ensure that the watershed management and restoration occurs as fast as possible and the safest way possible so that the environment is protected.
Just recently, we actually acquired private lands that we will give to the community under Conservation Covenant. And on these lands, we'd find actually extremely diverse old-growth forests in one of BC's least protected ecosystems, and that's the interior Douglas fir zone.
We can use those lands also as a springboard to watershed restoration and management.
We are fast approaching new opportunities to help support conservation efforts and protection efforts of key old growth areas in BC. And it's really vital right now that we accelerate our fundraising efforts so that we can continue delivering the key support to communities and other key parties who play a fundamental role in protecting old growth forests. We're a 93-year-old family business located in downtown Victoria, and we specialize in hiking, adventure travel, and fly fishing. We support and are so proud to align with nature-based solutions because they work with communities, so to protect diverse ecosystems, old growth, but they also work with First Nations to create sustainable solutions so that no one is giving up their livelihood. Protecting old growth and native ecosystems is integral to what we do at Robinsons because we outfit people to go outside and spend time in nature, and we see the physical, the emotional, and all the different benefits of that, and we need there to be a place left to go outside and play.
My name is Michaela, and I am the activism team lead at the Patagonia Vancouver store. Our core values state that Patagonia is in business to protect the planet. Our biggest hope for helping spread awareness about the Nature-Based Solutions Foundation's project, the Old Growth Solutions Initiative, is that we can help support and spread awareness regarding old growth protection in a very healthy way and under a new model. And it will bring positive changes to how we look at old growth groves and how we protect nature.
I was lucky to help start a company here in town called Slack back in 2013, and that has given me a chance to help grow a business here in BC and be involved with the tech industry in Vancouver.
I started my own company for the most technical of audiences, just developers building mobile applications. That company was acquired by Apple. The software that I've built is used by tens of millions of people every day.
I think what is most impressive to us about Nature-Based Solutions Foundation is they're able to bring together private investment and government funding that can address the needs of land-embedded communities while at the same time leading to the development of new protected areas.
When I looked at this specific organization, it was obvious that this is the best team, had the most reasonable approach, and obviously had the vision for what action needs to be done. So that's why I decided to get involved with this versus, other folks who are also thinking about this problem space. So yeah, the biggest hope is that we recognize that this is an approach that's actually scalable. The role that private funds play are really kind of a catalyst.
It can't just be politicians that we're expecting to make these changes. Private industry and people in business need to come forward and show that this is an important part of how they see their sort of role in our society. We have to find and reach people in a way that they're able to see that and see how they can get involved and how they can invest in like the intrinsic value that healthy ecosystems offer to everybody. And the more avenues there are for these people to get involved and to make a difference and to invest their part of it, the easier it'll be to create the sort of momentum that's needed to do this on a large scale.